I am Kodiak Cox, and this is Map, a travel lifestyle magazine. Today we are with Rylie Thompson, who recently went on a mission trip to Paraguay. Can you tell us a bit about
Oh,
that?
yeah. So over the summer, I went from America down to Paraguay and I was on the medical team. It was a lot of fun. I got to do a lot of fun things. I got to hang out with a lot of different people that wanted to go with us. And overall, I really enjoyed it.
So, could you tell me about who organized this trip? Was it a church or another organization?
Yeah. So the organization was Maranatha. I believe they're a church. I have not attended the church personally. I learned about it through my grandmother, I believe. But I think I went with a bunch of other kids, part of the youth group from that church. Yeah.
So, when I read your article, it said there was 150 others of you. That's a pretty big group.
Yeah, it definitely was a big group. There was a lot of people, and we stayed in a dorm there, and the dorm was definitely packed.
So, what do you think it would have been like if there had only been like 30, 40 of you?
We definitely wouldn't have gotten as much as we did done. I think the people on the medical team alone would have been probably about half of that. So I don't even know if we would have been able to, yeah, we wouldn't have been able to do much with just that many people.
Hmm. Can you describe some of the people you worked with and one or two of them that you really got to know better?
Yeah, so there's some kid. He was actually on the construction team, so a different team that I was on. So I only really got to hang out with him in the evenings, but we would wake up at like 4 a.m. to hit the gym before we started work at like 6, 5:30 sometimes. So yeah, hanging out with him was a lot of fun. Then we'd hang out in the evenings. And then there was a group of people that we would like play soccer and basketball with at the end of the day. I wouldn't say I really hanged out with a bunch of people on the medical team alone, but I really bonded with a bunch of people on the other teams. Yeah.
So, how challenging would you say this was?
I would say that there was a lot of, so I was on the medical team. There was a lot of professionals there that knew what they were doing. So I wouldn't say it was necessarily challenging, but it was very interesting and I got to learn a lot and the experience was great. There was definitely a lot of things that I didn't know that I had to learn how to do, but overall, yeah.
What did God show you about yourself as you interacted with the people there and did your job?
Yeah, I was really surprised. I know this is a Spanish country, which is widely a lot of them recognize Catholicism, but I wasn't expecting everyone there to be Catholic, and but everyone there was remotely, to at least to some extent, had a faith, and it was great to really see that and to help those people, because where I've gone in the world, I go places where there isn't much faith. So it was a really nice break to go somewhere where like God was visible, if that makes sense.
Right. Now that you're back home and you've had some time to reflect on this whole experience, what would you like to do differently or better if you were to do this again?
I definitely want to take the job a little bit more seriously. I definitely kind of wandered around at sometimes and just like to walk around. Yeah, focusing more on the people there is definitely something I would do better. Yeah.
Are you a US or UK citizen?
So I am an American citizen. I was raised in Texas, but for the past few years, I've lived abroad. I lived in Jordan for 2 years, and now I've lived in the UK for about 3 years, but not a citizen here yet.
So, could you give me some details about your flight and the ground transport to your destination?
Yeah, so I started in Minnesota, actually. I was working at a Christian summer camp. And then I went down to Houston. And there I met up with a few of the other people that were attending the Maranatha trip. Took a long flight from there to Sao Paulo in Brazil. And then we actually had a delay there. So we had to take another flight to a closer airport near the border of Paraguay. And then from there, we bussed across and went straight to the dorm. Yeah.
So, what are some other countries you've visited?
I had been, I think, to just over 20 countries. Do you want me to like list them?
Sure.
Okay. I'll try and list them in the order that I've been to them. Okay, we got America, Canada, Mexico, Costa Rica, England, Israel, Germany, Italy, Jordan, um, Cyprus, Bulgaria, Denmark, and now Paraguay, Argentina, Brazil, and I might be missing a few there. Oh yeah, Scotland, Wales. I think I'm definitely missing one or two there, but that's yeah.
So, which one would you say you like the most,
Ooh,
and why?
okay. I do really like America just because there's so many states that and everywhere is just different. So you can just go anywhere and it's like a different country. But other besides that, I really did like Jordan. Just the culture there was great and the people were really nice and welcoming. And everywhere you went, you would just be welcome into another house and you'd get a lot of food. It was great.
So, while you were in Paraguay, did anything seem overwhelming to you? Did you ever want to get into dentistry?
Yeah, so when I was giving the injections and pulling people's teeth out in the dentistry cart, yeah, I would say at first, I mean, the first one's always a little nerve-wracking. There's a bit of blood, you're sticking a needle in someone's mouth, and they're a bit frightened as well, which always doesn't help. And yeah, for a bit of time after that, I wanted to switch from being a surgeon actually to doing oral surgery and potentially becoming a dentist. Yeah.
Do you feel that that's something that God is calling you to do?
Yeah, it would be great because I want to continue to go on these trips, and doing something like that would make me a lot more useful, I feel, having that experience. Yeah, it would be definitely something good to know.
Okay. So, why are you traveling so much?
I just honestly really enjoy it. Yeah, it's something that I've always loved to do. I do a lot of solo traveling. I'd say over half of the countries I've been to have been countries that, yeah, I solo traveled to. I just love exploring the new cultures and the new lands and the buildings and the different structures and architecture and all the different eras and all that sort of stuff really interests me. Yeah.
So, one question I have, where is all of this funding for this coming from? I mean, 20 countries is a lot to visit.
Yeah. So I've worked since I was 15. I'm 18, almost 18 now. I've worked with my mom at a Michelin star restaurant. Yeah, I trying to struggle doing that with school a little bit, but that's kind of where the funding's gone from. Yeah.
With your patients, did you get to pray with any of them?
So a lot of the people, a lot of those patients, yeah, we would pray with them afterwards or pray before. Not so much on the dentistry cart, but a lot of the other stations, yeah, we would pray with them.
Could you share more about the fellowship stuff you experienced?
On the campus that we were at, there was a massive church. The fellowship there was really great. We had a bunch of kids that would go up. Well, not kids, but a lot of the kids there with us, part of the youth group. They would go up and sing, and people that knew how to use the instruments would use the instruments, and I don't know, it was really nice.
How do you feel that this trip to Paraguay has helped you grow in God?
It really showed me like another perspective on people's lives, from living in like a Muslim country versus going to a different country that's widely Christian or Catholic. It was definitely a welcome change.
Do you have any advice for me or anyone watching this video about traveling to other countries?
Bring a pillow. A lot of the pillows down there are rough, and the plane ride there is also you're gonna want something to sleep on. Otherwise, you're gonna be using that tray out in front of you, and it's not gonna be great.
Can you tell me a bit about your faith background?
Yeah, so I am a fourth generation Christian. So it's just always something that I like grew up on, and it's always been under kind of an understanding from me. And I've never really lived a life without Christ. So
How do you think this would have gone if it was just a vacation trip?
I definitely would have gone and seen the falls there. That was awesome. I would have tried to get out of the dorms a little bit more and go and enjoy the culture and eat the food and that sort of stuff.
Speaking of waterfalls, you said you went to one and tried to get into Argentina.
Yeah. So I would say that I went to Argentina, kind of. I was getting like notifications from my phone that I was in the cell reception range from the Argentinian towers, and I was like right there on the border. So I am gonna add it to my list of countries I've been to. Yeah.
So, if you're going solo, would you ever organize your own trip?
If I had the money, if I had the money, yeah, it's definitely not cheap to go, and a lot of people help out and donate, and that's what allows people like me to go do what I did. Yeah.
How would you describe this trip? Would you say it was big or dangerous or exotic or something else entirely?
I would definitely say it was a big trip. There was a lot of kids there. It was definitely crowded at some points, but my group was relatively small, and I'd say it really allowed me to be personal with everyone there. Yeah, it was great.
Today, I have been speaking with Rylie Thompson, who went to Paraguay on a mission trip.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.